welcome to Pulse by AlphaWire, the podcast where science and education meet cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence. My name is Aldo, and each week I sit down with innovators, thinkers and doers who are working to change our world for the better. Together we explore their journeys, uncover the lessons they've learned, and take the entrepreneurial pulse that drives them on their path to success. Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to a new episode of Pulse by AlphaWire. And for this episode, I'm very excited for this conversation with Peter Hui, who is a young serial entrepreneur from Hong Kong. Peter and I speak about life as a startup founder and what it is like if things certainly accelerate with your company from zero to acquisition. Peter previously founded the company Moongate and is currently involved in a new entrepreneurial journey with his company Coin Pilot. I really like Peter's energy, but also his groundedness, and sincerely hope you will as well. Please enjoy my conversation with Peter Hui. Yes, and we're live with another episode here of Pulse, and this one is going to be about entrepreneurship. And if you are an avid listener, then you know that I've spoken now to investors and people from universities, and now I'm going to talk to an entrepreneur, not only a once upon a time entrepreneur, but a serial entrepreneur. I'm here with Peter Hui. Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome, Peter. We met in Denver, back at ETH Denver last year, and we were at an event of an investor. It was a pizza event. I remember that. And there was no pizza left. I came late to the party, so there was no pizza left. It was hard to get a drink, so it was overcrowded. And then we started talking. And I very much enjoyed talking to you because you are an entrepreneur and you've been successful in your journey. And I thought, once I got the opportunity to start this podcast, I thought, I must contact Peter to talk a little bit about his various endeavors. Now, your first company, Moongate, has been recently acquired. And of course, I want to talk about Moongate, but also its acquisition, because I know there are loads of people listening who might also have entrepreneurial plans and they want to know more about exits and how that went. But then also you have an exciting new venture and we want to hear all about that. So no rest for the wicked, I guess, Peter. You dove right in after the acquisition, doing something new. Before we talk about the both of them, can you please talk me through a little bit about your background? So you have a financial background, is that correct?
Yes, I started my career in investment banking. So I did that for around 3 years, mainly doing M&A, IPOs, basically like cross-border deals, mostly based in Hong Kong. And then after that, I actually moved to a venture capital fund to basically started their crypto, practice. They were like a traditional VC, but I think back then it was 2021. And then, obviously it's kind of the last cycle, very hype, and all of the funds are trying to deploy the cryptos. So I also, joined a fund and try to start the crypto arm for them because I did have some crypto experience myself personally already before then. So yeah, that's kind of how I started my career before I started Moongate, my last venture. So yeah, happy to dive further into it as well later on.
Nice. And so in your investment time, like I also have a VC background before I became an entrepreneur. I was suffering of something called founder's envy. That I was looking at so many entrepreneurs and was like, I don't want to look anymore. I want to do it myself. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I have that. I think maybe the first month I am in the VC, I'm speaking with so many kind of, talented founders. They are all kind of working on ideas that they like or kind of passionate about. And then I think that really makes me thinking, hey, I also want to do something like that as well. And honestly, I did because I actually started Moongate a little bit like a side project at the beginning when I was in the VC. So yeah, I definitely kind of feel what you were mentioning about kind of this founder envy feel.
And you really got the taste of it because you're now already on your second venture. So you're not stopping anytime soon. Let's first talk about Moongate. So when did you start the journey? When you were still doing it as a Sunday afternoon activity, but which year are we talking about?
So I joined the VC, I think, in 2021, end of 2021. I think in early 2022, I already kind of started testing out a few ideas with my co-founder. So honestly, we actually started. I would say that was kind of the beginning time for us to start Moongate. Although it wasn't really like an NFT ticketing platform back then. We started off as doing basically like an NFT gallery because back then we were flipping a lot of NFTs, and then we felt we want a place to showcase kind of our NFTs. So we started off as a side project to as like an NFT gallery. We built that out, but then we slowly kind of pivoted that to Moongate, I think, and mid 2022. And then I think since then it's been like, yeah, 3 years before we got acquired a few months back.
So it started as flipping NFTs, but the way I understood it, that it was also kind of like an invitation system for crypto events, right? Talk to me about the journey of Moongate. So where it ended when it got acquired.
Sure, sure. So basically, we started off as because we flip all of NFTs, we try to see what we can do with NFTs. So we started off as like an NFT gallery, which is just showcasing the NFTs. But then I think it didn't really last long because we felt we want to do something more utility based. So that's why we figured, hey, what we can do with NFTs back then with blockchain NFTs, and we soon figured out that actually ticketing system is something that fits really well with NFT and blockchain. So we soon kind of expand offerings to NFT ticketing platform. So what it means is that, as you mentioned, a lot of the events they would use our platform to offer tickets and sell it to different attendees. But then the whole system would be based on blockchain. It's all NFT based. It's on different kind of chain. We support over like 10 kind of blockchains back then. And then I think the key is that even though it is all kind of blockchain based, it's kind of complex within the infrastructure side. But on the user front, it's actually super easy. Basically, they are simply kind of buying the tickets like using Ticketmaster or any other ticketing platform out there. They use an email, they log in, they can pay with credit card, and obviously they can pay with crypto as well. And then they would get the ticket into the email and they show the QR code to go in. But under the hood, we create the wallet for users already. We issue the tickets on blockchain. They can see the NFTs, and obviously they can resell it as well if they want. And I think obviously there are like further things that we can do. Like for instance, I think one of the key benefits of having NFTs on blockchain is you can offer token gated perks to different kind of holders, right? So in this sense, basically for all these kind of ticket holders, and now, if they hold these NFTs, now some of the event organizers, they would offer them like special assets, like specific kind of like merchandise. They can even
Yeah.
maybe go to other shops to enjoy a discount. So like a lot of different things can be done beyond just the ticketing piece. We've done that for like the first year on this. We basically work with most of the crypto conferences globally. Starting off with a lot of the blockchain regional conference, ETH events, even like biggest one like Token 2049 or like ETH Denver, where we have met, they are all our partners and clients that use our platform to offer kind of on-chain tickets to attendees. So I think that was like a great journey. And then we also later on the last year we also expand that to even offer some gamification experience, whereas users can go into the conference, go to different spots, they can collect different NFTs, basically make going to conference even more fun, and they can exchange for merchandise. So that's kind of the whole, I guess, what we were doing at Moongate, and then we grew it. I think pretty like I guess one of the top platform on NFT ticketing space when before we got acquired. And then so we actually early this year, actually at Denver, in Denver, I actually met the guys that bought us out. So I actually met them in Denver. Basically, started off as kind of like a partnership discussion. So we wanted to discuss some of the partnerships. I'm trying to pitch him on using us as well and integrate his stuff to my platform and stuff like that. And I think as the partnerships, I guess, developed, I think the conversation gets more serious because we see that there's a lot of synergies on the vision. as well as the product. I think that, yeah, eventually leads to acquisition at the end. But yeah, happy to dive further into that
And
on
so
like a
what
five
was the
well.
acquisition like? So was it you've exited, so you're no longer operationally involved? So was it like they had a team who can run it, or did they acquire the team? I don't know. I haven't been acquired. You know, I am an entrepreneur, but none of my ventures have been acquired, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. But I just haven't met that scenario yet. So what was the kind of what struck you? What going through the experience? So how does such a thing go? And just talk me through the first steps
Yeah,
of the journey.
for sure, for sure. I would say like back then in the banking days, I did a lot of M&As for different companies. Probably these are things that people will experience like maybe once or twice in a lifetime. So I'm very fortunate. I would say like, I don't know, maybe fortunate or unfortunate in a way. I don't know.
Yeah,
Basically I think it works out as an acquisition, right? But I think basically started off as kind of, as I mentioned, like a synergies and stuff like that. And I think the product and vision aligned a lot. And I think, obviously we like the team. And I think the initial offer is that obviously for us to join their team as well. Basically our product going to integrate into the entire kind of ecosystem. Basically the buyer is also a crypto project. I think right now is at 2 billion or 3 billion kind of FDB. I think also kind of listed on all the major exchanges. I would say our product fits into their roadmap as well. So initially, we were gonna actually to join the team as well, because obviously then we want to achieve the same vision. I think eventually I think I would say most of my team join the buyer, to make sure that things are running. There's integration on the tech side, business side of things, but just my co-founder, myself, CTO, like kind of the core team, we eventually didn't really join the team because I think I would say one of the major reasons is that we found something that we are even more passionate, the new projects that we have been doing. So we kind of negotiated a deal or like a term such that, we weren't joining the team as kind of like a full-time member, but more just like an advisor or kind of like a consultant to
yeah,
the company to make sure that the integration would make sense. And, obviously, I think I would say Moongate, as, yourself as well, like an entrepreneur, from something that you build from 0 to 1, you kind of see that as kind of your baby, right? So you
yeah.
definitely kind of want to make sure it's a success as well. So yeah, I mean, now we kind of just stay on as kind of like an advisor consultant and we kind of move on to build something that I guess we would say our team right now is, where our passion is now.
Yeah. Nice, nice. And can you talk about the acquirer? Can you mention their name or yeah, because there was a press release, right? So they're quite a big party, right? So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's all public news. Acquire
yeah,
is a humanity protocol. So the
yeah,
ticket is H token. So basically, I would say I can share more around kind of how the synergy would work, right? So basically, you can imagine them as kind of like a world coin, but on the palm version. Basically, instead of scanning your iris, you will scan your palm to make sure or kind of like to verify that you are like a real person. And then you would, I guess, integrate all the on-chain kind of identities as well and on-chain verifications on what you've done and stuff like that so that you can prove that you're like a human and bring this ID basically like a DID across all the ecosystem. I would
yeah,
say when we were discussing my project with him, coincidentally, the DID angle is also something that we have written in our white paper and something that we want to do next. And obviously, we start off as kind of like a ticketing platform, and they start off as the whole kind of verification, I guess, system, which is more on I would say like a higher ecosystem, broader ecosystem than us. And also, they also see one of the major use cases actually on verifying on users in real life activities. So basically, you can
yeah,
imagine it's like going to events, memberships,
yeah.
getting rewards
With
and
the
stuff like that.
scan,
So
yeah,
yeah, you can see how these two things can come together in this
yeah,
sense, right? So
yeah,
that's why I would say that yeah, leads to like a acquisition where Moongate joining their entire ecosystem. And we also honestly also think that Moongate with joining this ecosystem, there is even more resources to actually achieve the same vision together. So I would say
yeah.
it's kind of like a win-win situation there.
It's a win-win situation. Well, good. Well, congrats, and I hope it's also a financially beneficial journey for you, and kind of so that you've had a all-round good experience. And it's true. I don't think it happens a lot. I mean, I've heard of acqui-hiring, whereby the company isn't doing so well, and then, the assets are taken over. So that could be one. But really, where it's going from strength to strength, where people like your operations and they want it, and then pay a good amount for it. That's of course the best one for us entrepreneurs. So it sounds like that's what you have achieved.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Coin Pilot, because that's your new adventure, what for aspiring founders listening, what would you advise them if they kind of they want to do something similar? Like any takeaways or any pointers you would like to convey to them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say one of the key things I would say is like just be resilient. If it's for anyone that who might, thinking to do like startups, entrepreneurship or whatnot, I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah,
Because I think, at the beginning, I would say I think there are a lot of ups and downs throughout the whole journey, right? And like, at the beginning we were doing the gallery and the gallery. Honestly, it was kind of going nowhere. So we have to be kind of pivoting, testing out different ideas and luckily landing on the ticketing platform and then a lot of competitors back then, but just had to stay resilient on doing sales and kind of getting customers and refining the product. I would say, yeah, I mean, throughout the whole journey, definitely a lot of ups and downs. But I think just staying resilient on just keep going. I think eventually there also always something interesting happen. Like for instance,
yeah,
when I go to Denver, I didn't really expect meeting like a potential buyer at all, right? Because Denver was using us, if Denver was using us as the ticketing platform, I was just trying to support the event,
yeah,
somehow met a guy that, have a similar vision and then leads to an acquisition. And I think it also kind of turns out to be a good one because, our investors make money, our team make money. And then so I would say, yeah, I would say if there's like only one thing, this is quite, I would say it's something that I believe in a lot on the entrepreneurship
yeah.
journey.
And you also met me at ETH Denver, and here we are having this interview.
Yes,
So, talk about
exactly.
another major advantage, another, golden example of go out and about and get to those conferences. But definitely. Well, congrats to you. Talk to me a little bit about your new adventure, Coin Pilot. What's the idea there?
Essentially, Coin Pilot, what we're building right now, is a copy trading platform that allows users to basically copy trade the top traders and the AI traders powered by Hyperliquid. So I guess what it means is that basically Hyperliquid is one of I guess the most up and coming and biggest kind of perp decks and virtual decks, and also I guess like a on chain finance ecosystem that I think is right now is the most I guess up and coming ones, and right now, and I do believe that in the long run it is going to be one of the biggest one in the future. So now we're building on top of this ecosystem, whereas there are a lot of people and traders trading on Hyperliquid. But then there are also at the same time a lot of people trying to look at all these kind of whales, look at all these traders and try to see what they are doing, and also maybe just to follow their trades. So we have built a platform, like a mobile app, super easy to use, to allow users to basically copy trade any top traders on Hyperliquid. And we also kind of filter down to just a couple thousand of wallets so that these traders, the top ones in the space already. And obviously, based on your preference, strategies, you would be able to kind of choose the best one there. And also, we recently added some of the AI traders as well. I think there are some people developing some of the trading on-chain traders based on different LLMs. And our platform basically empower all these users to copy and follow these people to trade in real time. So that's kind of the initial current kind of what we have right now. Obviously, we have like a bigger vision and more products that are rolling out. But yeah, that's kind of I guess in short on what we're working on right now.
Nice. And where are you in its development? So is the product there, or will it be launched, or how do you anticipate that journey to look like?
Yeah. So honestly, the growth is faster than I expected. So our app was live in August. So I think it's
Okay.
been 3 months right now.
Oh, wow.
So we
That's quick.
have
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been 3 months right now. It's live on iOS store on Google Play Store. If you search Coin Pilot, you can see the app already. It's live on basically over 160 countries right now. And then we have already over 150 million US trading volume on the platform, and then
Wow.
over 10,000 users. I would say the growth is definitely way faster than I expected.
Yeah.
Especially, I would say the growth grew a lot in October as well. So it's a little bit like a J curve. In August, September, we have like an MVP, try to build up the user base, and then getting more features in. And then in October, certainly things just kind of blew up, and then just go up, skyrocketed, and achieve this traction. And I would say like, I think it's kind of getting better and better right now on the growth. So yeah, it's been live for a few months, and I'm very excited to see how it's gonna go later on.
Nice. And so, do you see a certain concentration in users? So, just for the listeners, you're currently in Taiwan, but you are from Hong Kong. So, is there also the highest concentration of users, or is it elsewhere in the world?
Yeah, so I would say top ones are still kind of ones in the US, and then so I'm based in Hong Kong, so I would say like Asia users is also coming next. Like for instance, in China, Japan, Korea, India. I would say these are also some of the countries that are following up. But I would say honestly, initially we also got a lot of users from Spain and France. So I think European users is also one of the major pie for us. So I would say right now it's like quite evenly distributed, like 30% from the US, 30% from Europe, and then the rest from kind of Pan Asia.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty global right
And
now.
how did you get the word out? Like, is that paid marketing, or is it like just that, or no, is there an organic effect to kind of what you do to get so many users
Yeah,
so quickly? Mm.
yeah. So honestly, we haven't spent any marketing yet. So
Okay.
it's with all the results right now, it's all organic growth and word of mouth. And it's all basically zero marketing spend and referrals. I would say one of the key things that we spotted is that we have a strong referral system. Basically, for our users that refer new users to coming in, they can also earn a part of the trading fee as well. So, for instance, if I
Okay.
refer you to join the platform and use the product, and you know, we then whatever you trade, part of your fees, can go to mine. So I honestly refer with commission. So I think initially there's like an initial group of users they really like our product, and then they would kind of post that organically on their social media like Twitter and stuff
Yeah.
like that and add on with their referral codes. And I would say that kind of created like a flywheel effect where they like the product, there are more users coming in and they post about us, and then there are like more users using their code, and then new group of user also kind of like our product, and then and then post further. So I would say it's kind of like a like a healthy growth, organic growth
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
this part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And I think good personal incentivization, right? The referral helps, of course, for everyone involved. Like, if you gain a little because you refer someone, and the other person likes that as well, it's a perfect knock-on effect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's great. I was just surprised that we haven't really spent any marketing yet, but then the organic growth is so strong. So I'm actually very
Yeah.
excited to see, if we do some paid marketing later on, how we like.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, the in your journey from Moongate, taking that to Coin Pilot, what are the overlaps? It's again B2C, so very towards the user, getting the individual to sign up for things. So have you used any tricks of the trade from Moongate into CoinPilot? If they are secret, don't reveal them, right? If it's your secret sauce, don't worry. But I'm just curious whether you have any kind of things that hey, we saw that with Moongate and we can apply that to CoinPilot, or do you feel you're in completely new territory?
No, I think this is a really great question. I think like somehow I do now kind of understand. So Moongate was kind of like my first formal startup. So I can see how the first time founder transitioning to like a second time founder, how the skill set would be able to kind of, I guess, transit. I wouldn't say there's like a lot of like very quantifiable kind of, skill sets or whatnot. But I would say in general, like how startup things or kind of like how to grow from 0 to 1. I would say in terms of the strategy, the mindset, how to manage different things. I think there's definitely a lot of skills that can transit. I guess maybe I would just use one like more concrete like examples. Like back then, I was saying for Moongate when we try to I guess spread our words. We actually work with a lot of KOLs as well, but then also kind of not on a paid version. It's also like an organic way, whereas we create a really nice ticket. If they bought the tickets, we tell them, hey, it's like really nice. You can share that organically. We kind of encourage them to do so. So I would say like something very similar. Like we thought that, hey, this is something that we can do as well. So now what we replicate here is that, hey, when we see some bigger accounts that are shilling, not shilling, but I guess like sharing what we are working on, we will also outreach them as well. Try to maybe land a deal with them, maybe give them like a high referral as well, or at least we would like retweet their stuff, or at least maintain a relationship with them. So these are like I guess minor things that can transit. Especially, I think we also have some like growth hacking stuff that we've been doing. That I think that kind of applies across startups. Like for instance, in Moongate, we prepare because we were like a ticketing event, a ticketing platform. So we prepared like the global crypto conferences on an Excel, and a lot of people would look into it and check, what are the upcoming conferences, and that helped us to grow our brand a lot. Similarly, in Coin Pilot, so because we are working on that Hyperliquid ecosystem, so we created kind of like a list on all
Yeah.
the existing NFT and also what are their perks on Hyperliquid ecosystem. So with this list, actually, this also helped us to grow our brand, across the initial Hyperliquid user base as well as beyond there. So I would say, definitely a lot of things here and there where somehow you experience that in your first startup, and then you are able to kind of I guess internalize and then leverage that again in the future ventures.
Yeah. Nice. And you are, how many founders are you in Coin Pilot?
Two right now.
With
Yeah.
Moongate, you were more, right? You were how many founders?
Same. There are also two
Oh,
co-founders
two.
and then
Okay,
one
I thought you were
CTO.
more.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So basically the same team. So I would say our team,
The same team, yeah. So
works.
you know each other
Yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Yes, yes.
complementary in skill set?
Yeah, pretty much. So I would say my co-founder mostly working on the product and
Yeah.
fundraising. I'm more on the go-to-market and like operations. And then
Mm.
yeah, and then we also got like our CTO, which is obviously working on the tech side of things.
Okay. Nice. Interesting, fascinating, Peter. And you're also very young still, so undoubtedly you're going to have some more entrepreneurial adventures. So that is amazing. I'm trying to kind of distill overall lessons. You've given already quite a few, but what was for you kind of, if you would talk to yourself back in 2021, right, before you started on all those things, which advice would you give yourself? So an even younger Peter is listening to the older Peter. And so looking back, what would you advise him?
Yeah, so I think back then when I'm trying to see if I should go to do startup full time, I actually struggle a little bit. I think same as my co-founder, we were thinking because obviously when we were in banking or like finance, it's pretty stable job.
Yeah.
Like, it take quite a big a leap of faith. I think a lot of my friends as well right now, they always have some like ideas or passion that they want to follow, but then they are always there's some holdback on maybe the jobs or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think one of the key mental exercise that we did, I think it's actually from Jeff Bezos or something. Like it was something that you would not regret when you were like 80 years old, right? I mean
Yeah.
that's very cliche, but I would say that's actually very strong and useful mental exercise when basically us evaluating different kind of I guess options on very different kind of decisions there.
Yeah.
So I would say like back then I think this is also like a mental exercise that we have done to I guess make us to take a leap of faith to do startups. And I think also there are definitely a lot of times that we have ideas or I guess we wanted to give up because there are sometimes like a few months that you're kind of very lost, you don't know what you're working on at all. And then your whole team is trying to rely on you on the direction, but then you are still also figuring out yourself. So I think in general, I think just echo back to my earlier point. I think somehow being resilient and
Yeah.
actually able to find a team that can support each other is like really I guess, important as well. But also, I
Yeah.
think it's very rare to able to find a team that can also, work together really well. Because
Yeah.
I did also have some minor projects before, and then just finding the team that can work well, complementing with each other. I think if you meet someone, along your life, your journey, that is fit into this persona, definitely, keep the relationships and try to see if we can work something on
Keep
that.
it
So that's why
going.
I think
Yeah.
I'm really glad. Yeah, I think really glad that my team worked really well for my last venture. So that's why now we decided, same team, we're gonna work together as well. I think,
Yeah.
because I know too many teams that they work together and then there are a lot of different in opinions and they ended up just kind of split ways or whatnot. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I have a strong team here as well.
Nice. I get so much energy listening to you, Peter, because it sounds like so adventurous as well. You're in Taiwan now, also meeting relevant stakeholders and people who you would love to get involved with your business. So I imagine you travel a lot and so much energy, but also so great that you actually deliver very good results. So big congrats to you. That's wonderful. For my two very last questions, Peter, I am personally fascinated by mornings. I love morning rituals. And so I ask all my guests, do you have a morning ritual or what does your morning look like? Could you take us into the morning of Peter Hui?
Right. I would say for me, I guess one ritual that I might have is actually so I got a pull-up bar at my home, so I just have to do like 10 or 20 pull-ups every day in the morning before I go out. I think like in general, I would say like exercise is quite important as well. Like I think at the beginning of my startup journey, I was too stressful, keep working, and I think you know it does affect a little bit of the mental health. And I do see like in the long run just getting a little bit of exercise into your life or a little bit work-life balance. Sometimes my ideas actually came out when I was, doing exercise or when I was,
Yeah,
walking around, right? So
yeah,
yeah, I would say that's something I think I find it quite interesting as well later on, in my
yeah.
journey.
Yeah. So pull-ups every morning, that's good. And even if you do a few, that it gets you going, right? Gets the blood
Yeah.
flowing, the energy going. So
Yeah.
that's good. Are you a
Yeah.
morning person or an evening person? Are you better at night
Um,
or better in the morning?
I'm better at the evening. So now,
And
it's
evening. Okay.
evening
Yeah.
time here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Life starts in the evening for you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm an early riser, so I'm not an evening person. I mean, I enjoy evenings, but don't ask me difficult things in the evening. I just can't, you know. But at 6 a.m., you can wake me up and I'm happy to do whatever. So that's,
wow,
it's funny
that's
how that
I
works.
don't
Yeah.
think I can do that. Yeah, I don't think I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny. Yeah. And then my very last question. I think you've given us so many great ideas, loads of advice. So thank you for that. My last question is always about reading. In your journey, has there been any kind of books or platforms or maybe articles that you've read that have inspired you, where you said like, "Wow, that's something I take with me," and that you would care also to share with our listeners? And it could be anything, right? It could also be maybe a video or any piece of content that you would like to share.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think so. For me, I read a lot of like startup books. I almost kind of brainwashed by these all like startup books, like the Lean Startup, Zero to One, these kind of books. And then I would say so. I think at the beginning of my journey, also I read the Hard Things, by Ben Horowitz. I
Yeah,
think definitely that kind of I guess paint out his journey, his entire entrepreneurship journey on how he gets here. And I think one of the biggest lesson that I guess looking back is actually quite inspiring. Is basically there are just like too many difficult decisions that you have to make throughout your I guess entrepreneurship journey. And then some are good ones, some are bad ones, but I think it's just kind of part of your journeys. I think looking back at Moongate's journey, I think there are a lot of like good decisions that we have made, but also a lot of I guess bad decisions that we have made. But I would say like to me, I've learned that like entrepreneurship is like a lifelong journey. It's not like, oh, you've done the company and then you sold it and then okay, that's it. Then you just kind of chill or whatsoever, right? So that's why I think it kind of brings me to, you know, immediately starting a next venture. As long, I think I'm quite lucky because I'm able to kind of find an idea that I'm really passionate about immediately.
yeah,
Because I think sometimes it doesn't really hit you right away, right? So I
yeah,
would say there's kind of like a journey in the long run, and I think now also kind of making a lot of difficult decisions and obviously, I think in the book, it's also talking about like scaling up and how to kind of manage people when it's like a bigger, organizations. And I do hope that, I guess once, hopefully, one day I'll grow to that stage, then I'll probably kind of reread this book again and see if there's any other lesson learned from there.
Yeah. Nice. Or maybe one day you'll write your own book about all your entrepreneurial journeys. Uh,
Okay,
love,
yeah, I mean
love to.
that's the goal as well.
That's the goal as well. That's the goal as well. Enough on your to-do list, I would say, Peter.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. It's been lovely talking to you. I surely learned a lot, and it sounds like you're thriving and you're doing all the right things, even though it doesn't go perfectly. You know where to look and you know how to keep yourself going. So it's been a great pleasure listening to you. Naturally, I wish you all the very best, and I'm very sure we're going to hear a lot more of you and from you. Thank you so much for your time, Peter. Hui.
Thank you so much for having me here.
You've listened to Pulse by AlphaWire, produced by Natalie Piles and Amela Faisal, with great music, The Optimist, written by Holly Hamill, performed and produced by Aldo. Episodes hosted weekly by me, Aldo the Pup.